Breaking news this afternoon that you'll only hear on this channel in McConnell versus Trump. A major development that is changing the entire landscape of this presidential election. And what is it about? Taxes. Taxes. A new report today says that McConnell is not against the president, but is not aligning himself with the president because he sees the president in a losing position in the presidential campaign. But if Trump starts to surge ahead in the polls, which he is, Trump is up 1 percentage point in less than 7 days, could McConnell align things differently? This has been a new report that additionally says that the Republicans are set to retain the Senate, not lose it. So what is Mitch McConnell doing, and is it ultimately working a really good hand for a second stimulus relief the day after the election? This is confusing, this is incredibly great news, and this is McConnell versus Trump. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is McConnell versus Trump, and really what could be the most important recording you can see this afternoon. And I forewarned you, I said a few days ago, that I think this video every day may be the biggest video of this channel, followed by Pelosi versus Mnuchin 20 minutes after this. You got to tune in for this one. There's a big development coming this afternoon, and it's in two regards. It's regarding both McConnell and Trump, and it impacts their relationship and your stimulus check like you've never seen before. So go to the front of this channel, subscribe, because there's nowhere else that you're going to get this type of in-depth reporting that pairs all the analysis and the facts and gets it to you in a way that's clear and concise. Also, like this video. In this video, I'll be going over the major developments just minutes ago about new push from the presidential campaign. Mark Meadows is on the television right now with Wolf Blitzer. Your stimulus is key and center, but is there a big move amid taxes and Biden, Trump moving in the polls, and McConnell trying to regain the Senate, and rehold the Senate, Republican? Ooh, boy, this is a lot of stuff. Let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that this is a real hot mess express that is a bigger nail biter than anything you're going to buy in the beauty department. This is really, your nails are going to be down to the core when you're done watching this video, because this is categorically shocking. And let me explain what's going on. First, Trump was behind in the polls. We all got that. Second, Trump is now picking up the polls. Third, Trump has moved up 1 percentage point in 7 days. Third, Trump is hitting really hard exactly where I forewarned Joe Biden to be hit hard on taxes. When we talk about second stimulus checks, second stimulus package, $1,200 check, $2,000 check, check for dependents, hazard pay, FPUC, all that money, guess where that comes? It comes from the Treasury for the president, if we're talking about bill, or if we're talking about executive order, we're talking about repurposing. Guess where it comes for Joe Biden? It comes from taxing rich people. Joe Biden wants to pay for stimulus by taking the money from other citizens and giving it to other citizens. He wants to tax one group of citizens and to get stimulus to give it to other citizens. He doesn't want to use the Treasury's money. This is not sitting well with Americans, and Trump is hitting very hard. A new rollout indicates that Trump is hitting Biden very hard with campaign commercials that says, hey, this man wants to raise your taxes. In the middle of a pandemic, after you've not gotten stimulus from Nancy Pelosi, who's held up your stimulus, he wants to raise your taxes. If any message is more clear than that, that is a clear message. Joe Biden has hit himself in the foot, has really committed political suicide by talking about raising taxes after his party has not given you stimulus. A man that was so far ahead in the polls could be in real trouble now because there's a clear path to say, you've messed up the economic pitch. We need stimulus. You're not giving us stimulus, and now you're telling us you're going to raise our taxes. And okay, we can't even afford the rent. Now you're going to raise taxes, and you're not going to give stimulus to me from your government. You're going to give stimulus to me from the person down the street. Boy, this is a real shocker. Now, how about Mitch? Mitch, a new report from The Hill, which really has had I got to commend them. The Hill has had absolutely categorically incredible reporting about Mitch McConnell over the last week. Their new report says that Mitch McConnell's been able to poll numbers of people in the Senate and see where they would vote. And he's been able to poll numbers and see what's going on in the races for the Senate. And the two things he now sees, Mitch McConnell, says The Hill in a new report obtained by LALATE minutes ago, says that one, Mitch believes that the Senate will be retained by the Republicans. There's enough races close enough and enough seats still maintained by Republicans. He's gunning for a win. Second, Mitch McConnell apparently believes that if a bill came from Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin to the Senate floor, he would watch and definitely see some Republicans vote in favor of the bill and some Republicans vote against the bill. And he thinks that that imagery of Republicans in the same party voting in favor and against would catastrophically implode the Republicans in the polls, in the election booth on election day. He says the imagery of Republicans fighting against each other over giving and not giving stimulus would be so clear to the American people that it could lose the Senate and lose the presidency. Third, the report says that Mitch believes that the president is in trouble for being reelected, and that Mitch is basically saying, hey, maybe you'll win, Mr. President. Maybe you won't win. I'm not going to hurt you, but for now, I'm trying to protect my troops, and I'm trying to protect my people in the Senate. Now, as you sit here today, you're wondering, okay, how about my stimulus? How about my stimulus? Where's my stimulus? What is he going to do with my stimulus? This is all about him and his career, and Donald and his career. How about my money? Where is my relief? Let me explain to you where we are. As you sit here today, all of that narrative I just explained to you sets up no vote and no approval by Mitch McConnell before Election Day. If all of what I told you is true, and this is based upon reports, it's not my facts, it's based upon reports of what they claim is happening, that would be there would be absolutely no stimulus vote by Mitch McConnell before Election Day. As a result, it shows the importance of executive orders, because ultimately Mitch thinks that we absolutely cannot, in his mind, we, meaning the GOP, not okay, let me back up. Mitch, in his mind, thinks that the GOP absolutely categorically cannot put a vote up for stimulus because ultimately it'll hurt the Senate. It'll hurt GOP members from being reelected. It'll help Pelosi, and it'll help the Democrats, and it won't help Americans. Interesting. Let me go over what The Hill is reporting. Mitch has made his statement prefaced by, this will probably be on Twitter in a few minutes. Mitch understands, a Republican senator tells The Hill off the record that Mitch understands his GOP troops in the Senate. He's made the calculation that it's not helpful to bring to the floor a vote because it shows we're not on the same page as the president. There would be a lot of Republican no's. This would ultimately hurt the president, and the president must understand this and must already see this. The president must understand that if you have a vote on the floor of the Senate on a bill that the president wants, and you have members of his party say no, it'll hurt the president, it'll hurt the Senate, everyone is being hurt, but the big one's going to be hurt is you, because you're not getting stimulus. There is no question of McConnell's loyalty to the president. McConnell has publicly stated that Trump will win re-election, and that McConnell will pull out all stops to confirm Trump's nominee to the Supreme Court before the November 3rd. McConnell has told reporters that he would likely put a stimulus bill on the Senate floor, even though it's set to draw opposition. At the same time, there's a reality that Trump is behind in the polls. quote, there is this growing sense that it's more likely the Republicans retain the majority of the Senate and the president is not reelected, then obviously McConnell becomes the most powerful Republican in Washington, says a second Republican senator. McConnell's up for reelection and a 10th top Democrat caucus, but McConnell's leading his opponent by nearly 9%. McConnell's going to be reelected. We already got that. So would McConnell become suddenly the most powerful person in Washington from the Republican Party? McConnell said, I don't think Nancy Pelosi's negotiating in good faith. That's where the administration is willing to go. My members think that a smaller bill is more beneficial. But White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows was asked yesterday whether McConnell has blocked negotiations from Nancy Pelosi. McConnell has been very successful. Obviously, we continue to stay engaged with the Speaker on a regular basis. And so I don't know if there's any blame to be put on Leader McConnell or the administration in terms of our discussions now. But Senator Republican Whip John Thune said McConnell knows the votes. He knows where the votes are. As much as we want to get a deal will pass in the Senate with all the Democratic votes and a handful of Republicans is not an outcome that the leader McConnell would like to have happen. He'd like to see a deal where you see the majority of the Republicans in support of policies that we actually think are in charge of the votes. I think there's a general feeling that bidding up and going up is not going to be well received, said Senator Shelley Moore Capito, a Republican out of West Virginia. So as we sit here today, what does this mean? It means that, and I have a lot of stuff coming up for you still at this 10-minute mark. What it means is that here's my prediction, I don't think Mitch McConnell is going to allow a vote on the second stimulus bill if there's an agreement between Pelosi and Mnuchin before Election Day. I think that McConnell thinks it's bad for himself. It's bad for his colleagues in the Senate. It's bad to keep Republican control of the Senate. And it's bad for the president for being reelected. Ultimately, it's best to say, we've done really good work, and we're almost there, and we're going to help you, and a lot of superlatives, and a lot of smiles, and that ultimately, go vote for me, and we'll get to this after the election. And that is particularly what may happen. Would Pelosi oppose that? Ironically, as I've been reporting in days on McConnell versus Trump, which is becoming McConnell versus everyone, Pelosi may actually support no vote. Pelosi today said that they're days and days and days away from writing the bill, which is just categorically incredible because she said they've been writing it for weeks. So now it's not written. The reason why Pelosi's saying that is ultimately she's gunning for a Biden win. She doesn't need to put it for a vote. If there's a Biden win, she can ask a lot more come January 1st, after Inauguration Day. So what does this mean for your stimulus? What it means for your stimulus is that it's really unclear what could happen. If you watch 28 today, I told you that with 12 days before the election, anything can happen. 12 days is a long time in politics. And with the president gaining 1 percentage point in 7 days, with a presidential debate tonight, with a lot of things still up in the air, could this president pull off an October surprise with an executive order? Ultimately, the president needs to do something big and bold, and staying the current course doesn't work. We all seem to grasp that. The question is whether the president understands it. The president must understand that pushing for a vote with Mitch may not look good. Now, let me explain something to you, because I haven't explained it to you, and that's why you can stay with me to the end of this video. Ultimately, what Trump may say, what Biden may say, what Pelosi may say, what McConnell and Mnuchin may say, may be actually not what they intend to do. That they may say, I really want to put this bill to a vote, and I want to get something before the election. I'm hopeful it's before the election. They may just be saying that, as the viewers, as the Purple Power have been saying, to string you along, to make you think, oh, this is really good. We're only 10 days away from the election, so we're going to have a bill in 10 days. Oh, no. We're just trying to placate you and just keep you calm because, we know you have, we know you're just, your teeth are getting a little grinding. You're like, okay, where's my stimulus? Where's my stimulus? Calm down. We'll get to it soon because I really think it's going to happen before the election when they have absolutely no intention of doing it before the election. That is very much the possibility. Viewers ask me, overwhelmingly in the last 24 hours in the comments. LALATE, do you think they're placating us? Do you think Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin are placating us? Yes. Do you think Donald Trump is placating us? Hard to say. Do you think Mitch McConnell is placating us? I think Mitch McConnell is playing both sides of the fence. He is literally trying to do every different angle he can do so that he is protected at all different sides. I'm going to answer some of your incredible questions from yesterday's recording, and then stay with me for Pelosi versus Mnuchin coming up next. Teresa Pelosi, the witch who stole Halloween. Mitch, the great who's stealing Christmas. Cheryl, Mitch better not feel he can't lose the cushy seat behind him. April, they're playing trick-or-treat with our money. Weekend, a petition for Mitch's removal. Wanda, Trump needs to wake up and realize the chief and commander. He is the chief and commander and start acting like that. I love that, Wanda. You're right. Mr. Cool, if Mitch kills the bill, I hate to be in his shoes when Americans get a hold of him. I think he's going to cast the blame on someone else. Don Brolas, off with their political heads. Patricia, Mitch is a turtle and a Grinch. Carl, it's just another 48 hours down the road. Patricia, we just need to ditch Mitch. I'm so over this. Deanna. Dana, get it done for the love of God. Deborah, everyone blew up McConnell's Twitter feed. Everyone blew up McConnell's Twitter tweet. Shawanda, let's get this done already. Barbara, mercy, my blood pressure's like a roller coaster. If there was a day to subscribe, it's today. Go to the Funnest channel, subscribe, because no one's making these situations clear to you that I am. It's very easy to sort of sit here and read a news report and say, Nancy says deal in 48 hours. I'm really excited for you. Let's do a YouTube thumbnail dance and subscribe. No, it's a little bit more complicated. And what I'm trying to do is take very complicated stuff and make it simple for you. Also, like this video. Coming up next is that bombshell of a Barack recording. Pelosi versus Mnuchin. Please stay tuned for that as well. And then coming up this evening is Evenings LALATE. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay at that life.